welcome to a podcast about something where each week we dive deep into whatever it is we find interesting. I'm your host, Calvin, and we're not actually going to be diving that deep into anything this week. We are both on vacation, myself and Nick, and so instead of your regular scheduled episode, throughout this week, we are putting out all of our Patreon bonus content we're compiling them into single episodes. We'll have a couple random reviews episodes and a couple pilot projections episodes throughout the week. Every day there should be a new episode, so you can go back and listen to some of the things we did on Patreon now that the Patreon is closed. So stay tuned, take a listen. They're just going to run back to back to back, and then there will be another one tomorrow with different episodes that we did. So take a listen. If you like what you hear, there will be more in a day or so. Stay classy. Welcome to a podcast about something's Patreon exclusive. Pilot projection. We watch the pilot episode of a TV show and make some predictions. I said, baby, I don't hate you, but I hate to see you. I forgot what we were talking about. We're doing pilot projections for Party Down. Great television show.
Fantastic television show.
We are watching Season 1, Episode 1, the Willow Canyon Homeowners Annual Party.
Yes, and what an open it was.
We got Ron Donald just, putting it all out there for his hostess.
It's weird. His character gets on my nerves, but doesn't get on my... He's like that affable douchebag. He's like Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recreation, but not as good.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of on that Michael Scott level where like you just want to punch him sometimes, but he means way better than Michael Scott ever did, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's just not as funny though, in my mind. It wasn't as good.
No, I mean, I don't think there's no way it could be a Michael Scott. But basically, Party Down is a group of caterers who they live in LA and they're all kind of aspiring to be something else. And we've got a great cast. You got Ken Marino as the aforementioned Ron Donald, Adam Scott as Henry Pollard, Martin Starr as Roman, I don't know his last name, Lizzie Kaplan as Casey Klein, Ryan Hansen as Kyle, again, don't know his last name, and Jane Lynch as Constance Carmel.
Yeah, and rockstar cast.
Yeah, everyone there is just doing it, waiting until their big break, or fizzling out of what was their big break on their come down now.
Yeah, they're like in the midst of, I don't know, they're trying to take off, all of them in their own way, and they're having a hard time doing it.
Yeah, so you got Ron Donald, which top tier name, by the way, for a character.
Yeah, Ronald McDonald is the first thing that came to mind. It made me think of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep. So Ron is like this overzealous ex-party animal. He's the team leader now, but he used to just like be on one of the teams like all these other guys are. And his aspiration is to open a Super Crackers.
Super Crackers. This had me going the whole... As soon as he said it, it's like, Super Crackers? What?
Well, I'm wondering, I've never watched with like subtitles on, but is super spelled S-O-U-P-E-R or is it S-U-P-E-R? Because it's soup. And it's soup and salad. It's a all-you-can-eat soup and salad place.
Yeah, that's his. It's like a Subway for back in the early 2000s, the big franchisees and stuff. How that was the big thing to do. It's like that.
So and he wants to team up with the owner of Party Down to open the Super Crackers.
Before we go any, this is an odd thing to say, but did you know that Paul Rudd had something to do with Party Down? He helped write it.
Him and Fred Savage. And there's a couple other like notable people that have a hand in it.
Very interesting, I thought. You could really, I don't know.
Paul Rudd doesn't make any appearances though.
No, and that's okay. I like his brand of comedy. It's pretty good.
And then we've got Henry Pollard. He's new to the team. He's kind of like this has-been actor. Hasn't done anything for a while acting wise.
Played by Adam Scott.
He's now just like accepted his role in life as he's a waiter now, or a bartender, I guess, in this episode.
Yeah, but he's a bartender for Party Down.
Perfectly happy working this dead-end job. No more acting aspirations. He did what he did in acting, which we'll talk about in a minute. But now he's just like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, he kind of comes across as spent. Well, yeah, I'm spent. Life's fucked me. I'm out.
Yep. And then we've got Roman, the aspiring hard sci-fi film writer.
He comes off hard in this episode. Like, he comes out strong, man.
Martin Starr, always great and everything. He's usually like a smaller part. Silicon Valley, he's really had a chance to shine a little bit more.
Never
But
seen
everything.
that.
You haven't seen Silicon Valley? Really
No,
good.
never seen that.
He was in Freaks and Geeks. He's been in a few of like the Apatow movies, like he was in Knocked Up and a couple of those other Seth Rogen vehicles.
Oh,
And he's usually just like a side guy.
exactly. He's never been the star, and I don't think that's his shtick. And he fits perfectly in this little role he plays here as the kind of comes across as a big time nutcase.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then we've got Kyle, who's kind of a triple threat. He acts, he sings, he models. He's just in the overall handsome business.
That's this after this first episode, he's probably my favorite character so far.
That's why they call it the Palisades, bro.
Yeah. He's the one so far.
Kyle's great. Kyle, so put it all out there. I've seen this series many, many times. There's only 20 episodes, but I've been on it since like 2009, I want to say. And I watch it all the time. It's really good. And Kyle just gets stronger and stronger.
And I've never noticed Ryan Hansen in anything else.
He's been in a few things, but every time I see him, I'm just like, that's Kyle.
Yeah, he's perfect in this role.
Yeah, and he can actually sing a little bit too.
He reminds me of Jean Ralphio, also from Parks and Recreation. He sings about dumb shit, but he can still sing a little bit.
Yeah, he's because you stay in me. He's got a really rough song in season 2 that it's tough.
So raw,
but it kind of kicks, but it's not a good song.
Slapping.
And then we've got Casey Klein, played by Lizzie Kaplan, who's great in pretty much everything. She's a struggling comedian who is probably going to have to move to Vermont with her husband, potential future love interest for Henry here, even though she's married.
Yeah, she's interesting, and obviously very cute. So I think it's kind of, as soon as I saw her kind of come into the fold, it's like, yeah, that's gonna. If you've ever seen Joe Rogan's stand up, he has a special on Netflix, and there's a portion that he talks about if there's one chick in like a work environment and 5 dudes, everybody will kind of like morph it and change to try to be that guy that gets to sleep with the chick. So she's got to pick someone, and I feel like as soon as she came on the stage, everybody's gonna have at least some kind of thought towards her, like in a sexual manner. So I don't know. I was really hoping her comedy chops would shine through, and she did for the most part.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. And then we've got Constance, the ex-actor, always like, or actress. She's always been like an extra or a side character. Like she's never had any leading roles, but she kind of still thinks she has a shot, and is always giving Kyle like all this great advice about how to be an actor.
I think she's like one of those people that gives great advice but has a really fucked up life. There's always those people out there that are very wise and they can give great advice but they can't apply it to their own lives. That's what Constance is in my mind.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. So again, they work for this catering company, and each episode takes place at a different party. And the different type of party of this one is at like a homeowners association yearly, like they give out goofy awards type party. Anybody who's ever lived in a community like that will know what that is.
Yeah,
they're
I imagine.
dumb.
It sounds pretty dumb.
But it's cool. Like this show's cool because each episode you go to a different place, you get a different party, you get different people, you get a different setting and a different way for the characters to act because they're in a different setting. And that's really cool because it really gets to stretch them.
Yeah, I mean, it's odd. It's just I don't want to expand past this first episode, which I'm having a hard time with.
Yeah.
Especially because later on in the first season, love Adam Scott's character. He's so fucking funny in this show, and it's something where I feel like this show was slept on a lot, especially by people like me, which I never heard about it until you told me about it. And
I talk about it a lot.
I think you talked about it like 2 or 3 times, and I just signed up for Hulu again, so it's like, I'll check out Party Down, and it reminds me of both Parks and The Office, where the first seasons of both aren't the greatest, where I'm applying to the first episode of this. It's like they're not the greatest, but God, they
set
rock
the
it
stage
up.
really well.
Yeah, they do.
So we've got new Ron. He, no more party animal. He's telling Henry, because he and Henry used to work for Party Down back in the day before Henry went off to act. He does the worst Yoda impression ever when trying to show him how to slice a lime.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, perfect. Then fine, perfect Yoda impression.
Yeah.
We find out Casey has a very controlling husband who, he's being offered a job in Vermont, and she doesn't want to really go because there's not a lot of comedy chops in Vermont. She wants to stay in LA where comedy happens. You get it. So a big question comes up early on. They're all prepping for the party, and Ron says that he's going to put out the tip jar. Kyle says, why don't we just take the guaranteed $20? What would you do in that? Would you want to put out the tip jar? Do you think your skills would be enough to get more than $20?
Hell no.
Yeah, I'd take
I used to be
because it's
$20
$20
a server
each.
too. Yeah. I used to be a server too back in the day, and it's not good eating. I can tell you that much.
No. Yeah, and then we've got Constance is just like all over the hostess and the kids, and just a lot of boundary issues with Constance.
I think there's a lot of boundary issues with everybody in this show.
Kyle's got some boundary issues as well.
They super do. Every single one of them. Especially Ron.
Oh, Ron. Well, Ron's just trying to get that comment card filled out in a positive way. So he's trying to go above and beyond, but it comes off like a boundary issue, really.
It comes off as, dude, you better back the fuck up before you get stuck.
Exactly.
Son.
So we find out Roman's the DJ at this party for some. Why would you pick Roman to be the DJ?
He looks like he would be a DJ.
Yeah, but like it's just all these middle-aged families. Like he's got to be the DJ at a different type of party. Like you need somebody a little blander to be the DJ here. Henry would be a good DJ at this party, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree. Or Constance. I could see Constance being a very bland DJ.
No, see, Constance would turn it up too much. She'd be playing like old time rock and roll or something, and just cranking it up to 11 and trying to grind up on the guests.
I'd pay to see that.
Okay, that's on you. And then so we find out Ron had over the past weeks, Ron had taken a racial sensitivity seminar, and he has all these missteps throughout the episode, but like he's trying to be not racially. He's like the anti-Michael Scott in this. He's trying not to be racially insensitive and comes off incredibly racially insensitive several times.
Yeah, he's ignorant. He's just.
But he has the best intentions. It's not Michael Scott on Diversity Day saying like putting different cultures on people's heads and telling them to act out stereotypes.
Yeah, that is true. He's really a nice guy. Like he just wants to do the best he can, but shite, man, he is
above and beyond.
Yeah, above and beyond. He's not very good at executing though. Reminds me of the U.S. government. Boom, door gets kicked in. Oof. You just hear over the microphone, "Get the fuck off the ground! He's got a gun!" Blah blah blah. Yep, that'd be the end of old Nick here.
Sorry, it's okay. You'll be fine. And so then we get Henry and the hostess's husband talking a little bit, and Roman comes up and gives this line to Henry: "Ordinary fucking people," from the movie Repo Man. Have you ever seen the movie Repo Man? It's got Emilio Estevez and a couple other people.
I feel like I've read about it, and it's super violent, is what I remember reading about it.
It's not good. So I went and watched Repo Man just on Roman's, just because Roman talked about it in this movie, pretty much, or in this show. So based solely on this, I knew nothing else about it. I was like, I might as well watch it. It wasn't. It was fine, but like it's not a very good movie.
Was it super violent?
I think you're thinking of Repo Men with Jude Law, which came out more recently. Repo Man is Emilio Estevez in the 80s, and it's completely different. Yeah. I don't think it's very violent. But I've not seen Repo Men. But I have seen Repo Man.
Not seen either.
Yeah, I don't think you're missing much.
Let's just change one word. Reboot this shit.
I don't think it was supposed to be a reboot, but maybe. Who knows? In this climate, anything could be.
Shared universe of Repo Men.
Adam Scott is just like the perfect, like just his willingness to give up on life. Like you said, he's perfect in this role, and like you see it in his conversations with Kyle. Like he's talking about, how he used to be an actor, but like he hasn't been in anything lately. And Kyle goes, "Oh, what are you doing now?" And Henry's like, "Bartending." And Kyle's like, "Where?"
I'm just here. That's kind of how he comes across.
He gives that look, and he's just like, "Here." And there's a clear look of, "Here, you fucking moron."
Yeah, you fucking idiot. Come
but
on,
he like
dude.
holds himself back.
Which is, he's very restrained. Comes across as very restrained, but that kind of explosive volcano temper in his head. I could see it. I could see it. I could see him going bananas at one point.
Yeah, definitely. And just in this show, every character feels so perfect. Like every actor and every character is just captured so perfectly of what they're supposed to be and how they are. Like Kyle just has this youthful exuberance about everything he does, and he knows he's just going to make it someday, whether it be acting, modeling, or in his band, whatever. He's just so excited, and Roman like kind of bullies him a little bit, and Kyle and Roman are great because they kind of make fun of each other the whole time.
There's a nice little feud brewing there.
Because Roman thinks he's so smart, and like because he's so smart, he's automatically gonna make it as well. But Kyle is on the other end of the spectrum where he's dumb, but he's good looking, so he thinks he's gonna make it. And then you got Constance there, kind of egging everyone on. It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. It just feels so natural for every single one of them. Not a single character is just like, yeah, I don't really like that character. You see that everywhere, and through this first episode, man, every single one of them is like, yeah, I like this character. They're interesting.
And every actor does a spot-on representation of what they're supposed to be.
Yeah. They do a great job. Ow, dude. Sorry, I'm gonna catch this.
I'm sorry.
Bit the shit out of me.
And we finally get the reveal that Henry is that guy. That guy from that beer commercial. You want to do the line?
I don't want to do the line because I will butcher it. It's so...
Are we having fun yet?
Are we having fun yet?
And he's just so dejected, like that's what he's known for. But he's trying to get the same like enunciation and everything from what the commercial would have been, and like, are we having fun yet? And
yeah, he does a good job.
But like you can see that it makes him dead inside as he says it every time.
Oh, absolutely.
It's such a great, like the writers of this show did such a great job of making it like this thing, like it's such a great thing to be remembered for, is this one stupid line. But like if you're Henry, I also get why like you would not want to be that's the thing you're remembered for.
Hell no, man, that would suck. That's pretty empty existence. You remember for one line, and that's all people will remember you for because it was somewhat memorable in the past, you know what I mean?
Right, it's like if the Budweiser frogs were Budweiser people. Like, that would be the only thing they'd ever be known for.
Yeah. They'd be like, look at those Budweiser frog people.
Well, they're not frog people. We're not on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles yet. This isn't the frog people.
There's no frogs in that, bro.
You sure about that?
No. I'm sure there has been a frog once or twice.
Oh, there's some frogs. Stay tuned. If you're listening to this Patreon episode, there will be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles regular episode coming sometime. And so we get the end of the party kind of culminates with, there's a couple things going on. Casey's husband storms in because she's not allowed to talk to him on the phone while she's there, and he storms in looking for her, pushes Henry in the pool, like, because Henry tries to stop him. And then the host of the party jumps in the pool naked, and his wife tells him that nobody wants to see his dick. Kyle's making a move on the host's daughter, and Ron is in the bathroom in a bad-looking situation. It looks like he's doing something that he should not be doing while watching Kyle and this young girl.
Yeah, full blown.
But really, he's just using his stick to rub one off his pants.
Yeah, he's also rubbing one off his stick.
Yeah, that's a stain stick, and he's got a stain on his pants, everyone. Yeah. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, you guys are perverts.
Yeah. And that's the episode. The party kind of ends. They get $14 each in tips instead of the guaranteed 20 because they put up tip jar, and that's your episode.
Yep. I mean, it's a great show, man. I love it. After the first episode, I was pretty hooked. To tell you
Yeah.
the truth, I can't wait to watch the rest of it.
It's only 2 seasons, and it got canceled prematurely. There are some things going on, like Jane Lynch left to be on Glee, uh, Adam Scott left to be on Parks and Rec, and it's like I don't know that he left to be on Parks and Rec, but I think like this wasn't getting picked up, so he decided to do Parks and Rec instead, because it was right at the same time he started on Parks and Rec right as this kind of ended. But they're 20 episodes, they're 30 minutes. It's really easy to digest. It's really, really funny. And you got a ton of guest characters. I wrote some of the peaks of guest characters that come later. You get Josh Gad in an episode, J.K. Simmons, Kevin Hart, Rob Corddry, Rick Fox, Kristen Bell's in a couple episodes, Ken Jeong's in a couple episodes, Breckin Meyer, Steve Guttenberg, Paul Scheer, McLovin's in there for an episode or two. And then the second season, Tammy 2 herself, Megan Mullally, comes in.
Yeah, as a regular cast member.
Yeah, she replaces Jane Lynch. And she's great too. She's like a dance mom type person.
She's a Karen. She's a fucking Karen.
I guess.
You know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about out there.
Oh, I know all the Karens. But I really like this show, and I picked it up like as it was being canceled. And I wish we could have gotten more, but I also don't want to live in a world where Ben Wyatt is not part of Parks and Rec.
True that, dude. Super true that. And I really, really like this show, and I wish there was more seasons with the original cast, but I think it's one of those flash in the pans, it's brilliant, and then it's gone. And I'm okay with that.
And they've talked sometimes about doing a movie. Ryan Hansen has a YouTube video out there somewhere where they did a like semi reunion. It's only like 7 minutes long or something like that. But it's just, like you said, it was just this flash in the pan. They kind of caught it. They caught it when everybody like on the come up. They didn't, other than Jane Lynch, nobody was really like well known at that time. Adam Scott hadn't really done anything. Lizzie Kaplan was in Mean Girls, but not much else. Before that,
they're kind of background characters.
Martin Starr, background character in everything he had been in. Ken Marino, I think he was on Reno 911, but it would have been before this. But for the most part, just like these guys all came together, and I don't think you could put this kind of talent together and keep it going without starting to lose people.
That's just kind of how it goes. It's the name of the game.
It's like the Golden State Warriors, really. They got everybody, they drafted well, got everybody on these rookie deals, but at some point it's got to fall apart.
That's how it goes for every sports franchise.
Except the Patriots.
They just draft incredibly well.
They don't, though.
Dude, they got a great front office.
Yeah, but they don't draft incredibly well. They draft late rounds incredibly well. They haven't had a good first-round pick in a long time. I guess Sony Michel's pretty good.
No one's really had that great of a first-round pick in a long time. Well, that's not true. Half the people out
Khalil
there.
Mack guy's pretty good.
That was like 6 years ago.
Yeah, still pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty fantastic. I wanted Khalil Mack so bad that draft.
Well, you got him eventually.
True that, son.
Again, really great show. I could not recommend it enough to anyone. Anyone I talk to about TV ever, I say you have to watch Party Down. There's also...
Hence me watching Party Down?
Yeah. There's also mid-credit scenes. Every time people turn them off, a lot of people miss them because like you get the credits and then like 30 seconds later another scene comes up. Did you catch the one on this episode? Did you catch them?
I did not. I did not realize there were mid-credit scenes.
Yes. So now you got a reason to go back and watch again.
Oh, like I needed another reason.
This on this episode, it is one of the women from the party is kind of flirting with Henry as he's packing up the bar, and we flash to them in the car, and she's giving him a handy there, and she's like begging him to say his line, and so he says it, and then everything just stops working. And she goes, "Oh, what happened there?"
So I don't know.
And he just like rolls his eyes, like he's like, "This isn't my thing. I don't want to be this guy anymore."
God, that'd be so embarrassing.
Are we having fun yet?
Oh my god. Yeah, they push boundaries here and there.
It's a great show. Check it out.
Great show.
A lot more great stuff coming up past the pilot. If you watch one, you're gonna watch all 20.
Yeah, there's one episode. I don't remember which one it was exactly, But look forward to it, people, because there'll be like that moment for everybody in this series where they laugh so hard, harder than you have in a while, and then you have to rewind it and watch it 5 or 6 times. Mine was when Henry was smoking a joint in the bathroom with like
at the old people party.
I think so, and
At,
it's
the
just
old people swingers party. Yeah.
he's hitting this joint and he like steps back. He's like,
Ed Begley Jr. in that episode.
I'm so fucking high right now. And it was the funniest shit I've ever seen, the way he delivers. So
Yeah.
that gives you a good example of like how these guys are so funny and so well written and so good, as they have these little lines like, I'm so fucking high right now, which you've heard on a million shows.
Yeah, it's just a simple line, but just like the way like Adam Scott's so good at delivering simple things like that and making them extra funny. It's Ben White, he did it all the time.
And that's exactly what this is for every character throughout this first episode and the entire series.
Yeah. Check it out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a patron. And thanks for stopping by.
The Bible says man without vision shall surely die.
Welcome to a podcast about some things Patreon exclusive. We watch the pilot episode of a TV show and make some predictions.
I said, baby, I don't hate you, but I hate to see you go.
All right, we're here for pilot projections again. Watched a show. It's called The Boys. I don't want to call it great because I've only watched one episode, but a lot of people on the internet seem to think it's great.
It's different, and I think people like different.
It is, but at the same, this was one that I didn't really want to watch. Like, I purposefully kept it off my radar because I didn't want to like it and just be stuck with another show. Because I kind of have a lot of shows right now that I'm into, and like there's too much going on. But at the same time, I'm just a very, very little bit superhero fatigued. I know it's blasphemous to say, but
not even. I'm right there with you.
And these characters, I don't know these characters. I don't care about them. Like, you throw something with the Flash out there or Spider-Man on it, like, I'm watching it. Or even, like, you know, when Daredevil comes out, I want to see that because I like Daredevil and I've always liked that character. I don't know who these people are. I don't give a shit about them. And I wasn't going to go out of my way to watch it. Now, having said all that, I enjoyed this pilot episode.
It's very different. That's really the best way to explain it. It's not your average superhero show. That's for damn sure. And like you said, I've never experienced these characters before. Like, I've never heard of them. They've never been on my radar. And then this show comes out. It's like, I'll check it out. And
right.
Also very superhero fatigued, and it was kind of eye-opening. It's the best way I can say it.
From just the pilot, it's more of an anti-superhero, not an anti-hero, an anti-superhero show. In that the superheroes are almost the bad guys, because we see it through there's the main character, this is spoilers for the pilot episode, but not for the whole season, because I haven't watched the whole season, and neither of you. A kid and his girlfriend are standing on the sidewalk, and his girlfriend literally gets run through by a speedster and exploded in front of it.
Yeah, it's
and blood spatters everywhere, and he's left holding her hands, and just her hands.
It's the most intense opening sequence of any show I've ever seen in my life. Like, you meet Huey,
was strange.
One of the main characters, and he's kind of a dorky tech guy, and he has this girlfriend.
Hey, now.
What's that?
I said, hey, now, we're nice people.
I didn't say anything.
Dorky tech guys.
Dorky tech guys are great. They fix all my shit when I need them to.
It's true, we do.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
Dorky is not a bad thing.
We're friends of the dork here at a podcast about something.
Well, I am a dork, so there's
that.
There we go.
That's why we're friends.
Exactly. But anyway, this he's baller. He transitions big time into more of a hero over the course of the show, or over the course of the series. I've watched like 6 episodes, I want to say. But in this first episode, you meet him, you meet his girlfriend, and yeah, she gets blown to pieces in slow motion. And
Not even pieces. There's just pretty much blood.
well, she basically gets vaporized. Like there's
Yeah.
bone, blood, and it just falls to the ground in a really shocking sequence. It's all over him, and the dude that runs through her is a really famous superhero, and he's
part of the Seven, which is
yes.
a crew of superheroes.
Well, the big
like,
they're
famous,
like the Justice League.
Right. Yeah.
They have he's fuck I don't even remember his name off the top of my head. A-Train. That's right.
A-Train. Yeah.
A-Train. He's the speedster, and then there's Homelander, who's like Superman.
He's Superman, right?
The Deep.
There's the Deep. He's an Aquaman type. The girl that just joins the team in the first episode. She can do something with electricity. Yeah,
Starlight.
She can do stuff with electricity. Yeah.
Well,
and she, we get a great introduction to her as well, in that basically she gets not assaulted, but I guess it would be assaulted, harassed into basically by the Deep, who is the Aquaman avatar of give me a blowjob or you're not part of the team.
Or I'll tell them you assaulted me.
Right. And
that was really uncomfortable. That was uncomfortable.
Yes, very uncomfortable. And then she's crying in a bathroom, and Translucent, the invisible man of the team, is like hiding in the bathroom because he can turn invisible whenever he wants. So he's hiding in the women's bathroom
and showing off his wiener.
Yeah, because he has to be naked in order to be invisible. He has to be naked. So yeah, that was an interesting introduction to a lot of the characters, and it almost looks like she's going to team up with Huey and I don't remember Carl Urban's character's name.
Butcher.
Butcher.
Billy Butcher.
Right, he has a vendetta against the superheroes because, well, we don't know why, but he's kind of trying to recruit Huey to help kind of bring them to justice a little bit because they kind of get away with whatever they want because they're superheroes. So that's his role in this whole thing, is like, let's stick it to these superheroes who are kind of assholes.
Yeah, he fucking hates them.
And we don't find out why he hates them in the first episode, but I'm sure it's going to be in there somewhere. And it's, you got Huey, who also has a conversation with Starlight at one point, so it looks like she may join up with them as well, because she has a vendetta against the Seven as well now, because she basically got assaulted to join them. So there's a lot of moving parts in why this is an anti-superhero movie of, like, the superheroes they're the good guys, they save the world from evil, but they're also just assholes.
Yeah, they're pieces of shit.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's the best way I could think of. After Starlight gets assaulted, it just kind of rapidly expands into this crazy concoction, and it can be a little hard to follow, but it's a good ride. I enjoyed following it, but I mean I was really uncomfortable after that assault, and then
it's a tough watch. Like,
it's a tough initial watch.
There's a lot of interesting things and moving pieces going on, but it's kind of hard to watch.
Well, there's like this political aspect as well. Like they're all part of this organization. It's basically a company, and their goal is to make billions of dollars, which they're very successful at. And the lady, I think her name's Miss Stillwell.
And they get endorsements and appearances and everything. One of them shows up on Jimmy Fallon in the first episode. So there's like a lot of. It's not just like they get paid by this corporation, like they do all this other shit to get money.
Oh, they're celebrities.
Yeah.
They're basically NBA players that have powers. And so Huey is out to destroy, he hates the Seven now after being a big fan because his girl got killed, and basically the company that runs these superheroes is saying, fuck you, buddy, we'll give you $40,000, and that's, and then you go away.
For the death of his girlfriend, right?
Exactly, like, they were in love, they were going to get married and move in with each other, and she gets exploded all over him. Like that.
And then and that's where Carl Urban comes in. He takes them to this like underground club, like underground superhero clubs where they can kind of let loose and be their asshole selves with each other, because they kind of all know each other there. They just kind of decompress.
Don't ask, don't tell. and you
It's
immediately
basically
see like,
what all the crazy people thought Pizzagate was for whoever they thought that pizza place was an underground. Yeah, it's basically that for superheroes.
yeah,
I'm
like
not going to get too deep into that,
yeah.
but
We'll
but
just
that's
say
what it is for
it's
superhero.
intense.
He sees this video of A-Train laughing about how he just ran through this girl. He swallowed her molar, he said.
Yeah,
And
that's so
he's just
fucked
like
up, man.
laughing about it with one of his friends. He didn't even really give a shit.
That would
So
suck
then
the shit out.
Carl Urban. Yeah, I don't know.
So Carl Urban is basically like, dude, he pretends to be an
He's like,
FBI agent,
yep,
uh,
and a cop.
and a cop, and he offers he's really gruff and wears like a big trench coat and drives a beater, and he was like, okay, let's go. So Carl Urban gets him to or take a bug to like the headquarters of the superheroes, and he's under the guise of, oh, I just want an apology from A-Train.
Right.
So he gets this half-ass apology and plants the bug, but before he does so, he goes to the restroom and is noticed by Translucent, who's fucking naked in the men's restroom too. Don't understand.
Always.
Like, what kind of creepy bastard are you, man? But he finds the bug and basically tracks Huey down, and whew, the ass whooping of a lifetime
That was a good
commences.
fight scene, though.
That was a great fight scene. It was
Really
really
good
fun.
fight scene.
That kind of redeemed the episode for me.
And all of the powers all look good. Like
They look
everyone
really
using
good.
their powers looks good. Which is good in a superhero movie. Like in the Flash TV show, sometimes the Flash's super speed doesn't look great. Now, I'll say the speedster A-Train in this show, they didn't really actually show him running. They showed the girl exploding, and then he was standing there kind of going, oh shit, and then took off. But a lot of like the things with the Flash when he's running in that TV show, they look a little cheesy at times.
Yeah,
And a lot of his villains, like his over CGI'd villains, look cheesy too. But none of the powers really looked cheesy in this. So that's a good thing.
Well, they definitely put some money into this. Amazon went all fucking
Yeah.
out.
Amazon has money.
Yeah, no shite. I have like
In case you were
100
wondering.
pieces of Amazon garbage in my office right now.
Just boxes. Just Amazon boxes.
They're good boxes. I used to
Yeah,
recycle the shit out of them.
Oh, yeah. Anytime I need to send something, I just grab whatever Amazon box I just got a package in last week and send it back out.
Yep, I got like 3 or 4 in the corner right now. This is
So
not
yeah,
an endorsement of Amazon, though.
I mean, if they want to sponsor us, it can be.
Jeff Bezos, get at me.
I know you're listening.
Give me that. Give me $1 billion, and I will be your friend forever.
I'll never say anything bad about Amazon then. Not that I do anyways. Amazon's great.
I will suck Amazon. So,
All right, let's move on. Back to the show. So Carl Urban and Translucent just beat the shit out of each other for a while.
Dude,
Carl Urban smartly uses his own blood, spits on Translucent so he can see where his hands and his face are to where he's throwing punches. Great move by Carl Urban.
he's got fucking hands, man. He starts whooping the dog shit out of Translucent.
He's not FBI, but he can fight at the very least, which is a
like
good
a
thing.
Southside Chicago guy.
And so they get in a fight. They end up killing Translucent and put him in the trunk of the car, and that's the end of their story. And then we see Homelander, who Carl Urban earlier in the episode had said, all of these superheroes are pieces of shit except for Homelander. He's actually truth and justice in the American way. He's actually like the Superman. He is genuinely good. And then we see him laser down a plane as the final scene of the pilot.
Yeah, no shit. Like, for
With
context,
like their lawyer or somebody on it, right?
No, he's the governor of Baltimore.
That's who that guy was? Okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't see him in The Wire, so I didn't recognize him. That wasn't Carcetti up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Calvin's
I just
been
finished
watching
The
Wire. Just saying.
I'm done with it. Yeah.
Did you? Did you finish?
Yeah.
It? That's fucking
Yeah.
awesome. It's a good show.
Breaking Bad's better.
Yep. Hands down.
El
But
Camino tomorrow. Can't wait.
dude, that is tomorrow. Fuck. I digress. Anyway, I think he's the governor of Baltimore, and that there's a scene where he's negotiating with the leader of the Vought Corporation, which is who they all work for.
Yeah, that's the company that runs them. Yep, I remember that.
And she's negotiating a superhero named Nubian Knight, which I thought was pretty funny. It was just like, I mean, the names are half decent, and the costumes are pretty
I do
cool.
like the superhero names for the most part. I
Yeah.
don't like Homelander. That's a dumb name, but the rest of them are pretty good.
It slowly grew on me over the course of the episode because they mention him like he's a fucking god.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what they're negotiating. So that's who's on the plane. And basically, Homelander overheard or figured it out or something. I'm not quite sure. It wasn't truly revealed in the episode, and decides to torch the fucking plane with the dude's kid in it.
And several other hundred of people. Like, it's a commercial flight.
Yeah, I mean it was
So.
pretty brutal. But the kid's like, "What's that outside, Daddy?"
Oh, don't you know him? And then bam, laser right to the face. Fuck
Well,
you,
I mean,
kid.
it's a awesomely shot scene.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Because it's like,
Well, and
it's
that, like,
kinda
that's
storming
a place
outside.
where you could get really cheesy with the CGI there, with this guy flying and the plane getting lasered in half, but like they did a really good job of capturing it in a way that looks cool.
Yeah, it looked like an evil Superman. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. And that's the end of the episode. So, like I said, it's interesting. There are interesting pieces to it. I don't think I'm going to continue it, but if you're not superhero fatigued, or you have any, if you want to watch these guys, you want to watch kind of superheroes devolving into their base selves, it's really great. It's not even Deadpool level of like that devolution. It's different than that.
They're
Because
pieces
this
of
is
shit.
they're just they're just, like Deadpool.
He just gets into debauchery and shit.
Yeah.
Like he's just a hoodlum.
he's like he just wants to have fun while also killing people. But bad people. These guys are just straight pieces of shit.
Yeah, they're
but
very
they also save the world.
selfish.
Yeah.
And prideful, and just the combinations that are just fucking god awful, and the people you can't stand.
So do we have any lingering questions moving into the rest of the season? My first one would be, why does Carl Urban have this vendetta against the superheroes? Like, we know why Huey does, we know why Starlight does, but what is Carl Urban's deal? He's obviously lying about being FBI or police, so why is he trying to bring them down?
Yeah, he's got a boner for the heroes.
Yeah.
What
What other crazy shit do these heroes get into? I want to see that,
I'm very curious about it, but that might be something I honestly just read about.
Yeah. They don't leave a whole lot open ended. I'm sure as they get more, there's more going. Are there supervillains in this world? Or are they just breaking up bank robberies, things like that? What are if the superheroes are this big assholes, what are the supervillains like? I don't know.
Yeah, they gotta be super scumbags. Watch them be super nice. They're just great people, and the heroes are like, I fucking hate you. Get out of my face.
That could be. The Pope, he's probably a supervillain in this.
The dastardly Pope.
Damn you, Pope.
Again. He blessed thousands of people and made them feel great about themselves.
Can't trust the Pope. That's all I've got for The Voice.
He's a pretty good Pope right now. But yeah,
I
for
guess.
The Voice,
I don't know. I don't really follow the Catholic religion that closely.
Me either.
I just know that the Pope exists.
Well, I think he...
Shout out Pope.
I know
of the
he's
show.
a decent guy.
Him and Jeff Bezos are our top patrons, so we're doing pretty good here.
That'd be fucking incredible. They are our top patrons in my heart.
There we go. I like that.
Jeff
well
Bezos
said.
is gonna send me a cease and desist letter. Like, don't ever fucking
Stop
say my name
fucking
again.
talking to us. Talking about us.
We hear everything, so just chill out.
Your Amazon Alexa was listening to the whole fucking thing.
Not even.
I don't have an Amazon Alexa. There's one.
You
in your
do
house,
now.
don't worry.
There's a knock on the door. Here's your free complimentary Amazon Alexa.
You know that box that's in the corner of your room? There's actually an Alexa built into every box we send out. You just don't know.
And it collects your DNA, so I can clone you.
Well, you get one of those paper cuts, from those boxes. They've got sharp edges.
They do
Now they've
have
got your DNA.
notoriously sharp edges. Anytime I handle them, it's like, and that's, then I go cut some lemons, and it really hurts.
So anyway, The Boys. Good show, good concept, little graphic.
Little graphic?
I'm superhero
hella
fatigued. Hell graphic. I'm superhero fatigued. I will not be partaking in the rest of it. But it's got some cool pieces, and if you're not superhero fatigued or don't have too many shows on your radar, definitely watch it.
It has a lot of promise. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just don't want to add more shows to my queue. I got too much going on.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah. But it looks good. I would give the pilot like a 6, right in there, 6.2 maybe.
Yeah, I ranked it about a 7.
Yeah.
7 plus. 7.
I see. I think for 7+, you gotta rope me in and make me want to keep watching. It didn't have that where I'm like, oh shit, I gotta find out what happens next.
It had that wow factor though.
It did.
I mean,
it had good
caught me
pieces.
with that opening scene.
And if my wife liked it and she wanted to watch it, I would definitely sit and watch it. Or like if I had a buddy who was watching and going through it together, I would watch it then. But like for just me by myself, it didn't grab me enough to be like, all right, I gotta see what keeps happening. I just don't care. Like you said, I can go on Wikipedia and read about the lingering questions I have and see what the answers are. I don't need to watch the show though. I don't feel like I need to watch the show. So it can't be a 7 in my book.
Partially, this is the undertone of my 7 rating. I don't know if we've even mentioned it, but The Boys is a comic book, or was a comic book,
right,
originally, and that's what it's adapted from. And
that's true.
The show made me want to read the comic book really bad.
That's the other thing. I could go on Wikipedia or I could read the comic because it's just a single run series, right? It's not it's not like fucking Spider-Man where there's 60 years of backlog.
No. I think there was 60 issues, if that.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
No, I could run through that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
I like you're saying, I would rather read the comic books to see what happens to answer those lingering questions than to watch the show, because reading a comic book is much more passive and easier to do. I can do that while watching football kind of thing.
Yeah, and I just don't really want to see people explode. It was fucking weird. It was intense. It got me, but I didn't.
Yeah. It really shook up by that.
Well, I don't know, man. It's.
Did your ex-girlfriend get exploded by a speedster at one point?
You know she fucking did, bro.
I knew it.
Talk about Giselle like that.
Giselle, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, you may know her.
She's married to Tom Brady now?
Yeah, she's... no. Well, yeah, I don't know what really happened to her. She got exploded, and then Jeff Bezos came around, and then, lo and behold, I see her on the TV.
Weird how that happens. Anyways, thank you for listening to our ramblings that were mostly about The Boys, and thank you for being a patron, and mostly thank you for stopping by.
The Bible says man without vision shall surely die.
Welcome to a podcast about some things Patreon exclusive. We watch the pilot episode of a TV show and make some predictions.
I said, baby, I don't hate you, but I hate to see you go.
Welcome. Everything is fine. We're talking about The Good Place today on our pilot projections. I thought really long and hard about that intro.
It fits perfectly.
Yeah, that's what it says, right in the beginning. Good Place. Great pilot episode.
Fantastic.
Brought to us by the creative minds of Greg Daniels and Michael Schur.
Love these guys.
Who are behind The Office, Parks and Rec. They have anything to do with Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I feel like they had something to do with that, too.
I think Michael Schur's a writer on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
He might be. Also plays Mose Schrute in The Office, if anyone cares.
Which I always thought was weird. Young cat. He reminds me of...
I think he's like late 40s.
You think? He looks kind
of... Yeah,
Mose
looks really young. Yeah, he's got like a baby face, but he's definitely... He's not like 25.
Huh.
He's no BJ Novak out there.
Dang.
But yeah, Michael Schur, I'm always up for anything he does. I've listened to him talk about all his projects on different podcasts, and like he's just like a really smart dude, well planned out, which is something that for anyone who's out of the loop, or this is your first introduction to The Good Place, season 4 starts this year sometime. And it's going to be the last season, but from what Michael Schur said, it's Like that was their plan. Like it has a beginning and an end, and they got to tell their whole story. Like they're choosing to leave after season 4.
So
They're
rare.
not getting canceled.
I love that.
Right.
That's so
It's
rare.
really good. And that was something that Breaking Bad did, which is, as we've talked about here before, one of our favorite shows. Is they could have kept going and going, but Vince Gilligan had a story he wanted to tell. He was getting to the end of it, so he finished it. Good shows do that.
Yeah. Well,
like they dragged it out a little bit there at the end.
Well,
but...
I just mean Walter White's story's finished, but you got El Camino coming out, so.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Dude, I can't wait. That looks so dope.
Better Call Saul's out there, which is a solid show.
I really enjoy it.
I enjoy it. Like I'm not as deep into it as Breaking Bad. Like I don't care what happens, but it's a good show to watch.
I mean, I already know the end of Jimmy McGill's story, so it's like,
Right. He ends up in that Cinnabon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about The Good Place. Starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson and a bunch of people that you've probably never heard of before you watch this show.
Definitely not.
Maybe you've heard of Jamila Jamil. She's the only one. Other than that, I don't think you've heard of any of these people. Kristen Bell and Ted Danson are fantastic in this show.
Let me just say, dude, Kristen Bell is... in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I thought she was really funny. In this,
she's a really funny lady.
Dude, she is hilarious. She is super funny in this pilot.
Yes, absolutely. And then Ted Danson just has this like youthful exuberance in everything he says and does. He just like dances around and has these goofy smiles on his face all the time. And I asked this on Twitter a long time ago of who's more charming, Ted Danson or Paul Rudd. I think Paul Rudd won, but I'm not sure he should have. Like it is a very close battle between those two.
I don't know, man. Paul Rudd is pretty charming.
So is Ted Danson though.
But it's Paul Rudd.
Ted Danson's been doing it for like 40 years.
Paul
You
Rudd's
watch
been
Cheers?
doing it
Cheers is fucking amazing.
I have not watched that.
You should watch Cheers.
I was waiting for
Coming
the assault.
soon, pilot projections. Cheers.
Let's do it.
I don't think that one will have aged as well as any of the other stuff we've done. But
Nothing
it'll be
ever
pretty funny
does.
still.
Yeah, I'll get down on some funny shit. I don't care.
So the series focuses on Eleanor Shellstrop, who is dead, and she has ended up in the good place, which is basically heaven. And her first question, obviously, is, who was right about it all, which religion, and Michael, played by Ted Danson, kind of goes through that each religion kind of got bits and pieces right, but the guy that got closest, everybody was about 5%, except this one dude, Doug Forsett. 92% when he was high on shrooms about what goes on in the afterlife.
Dude,
Shout out Doug Forsett.
I thought that was so funny, except this one stoner guy. And I mean, they just kind of,
They've got his
right
picture
after...
up on the wall.
Oh yeah, dude, and I don't know, man. The fact that they just kind of, it was deadpan, and he delivered it so perfectly with that cheeriness. It's really like that odd kid in a candy store curiosity. And this was coming right off, like, they open up so calm. It's all nice and very...
Yeah, it's like
smooth
walking
open.
into a spa.
Exactly.
Basically.
I thought it was like the doctor's office.
Yeah.
When that nice, calm dentist that you don't hate, and then you learn how Eleanor dies, which she gets hit by a big column of shopping carts. And then,
she gets hit by the column of shopping carts, but that doesn't kill her. That's not what does it.
No, and then she was hit by a billboard advertising erectile dysfunction. And
truck.
Yeah, billboard truck
advertising. Yeah, erectile dysfunction medication. That's what I've got.
That sucks.
In a parking lot, and one of the first responder EMTs was one of her ex-boyfriends.
She did. So yeah, then Michael hits her with that information. It's like, okay, how far are we into this episode? Like 5 minutes, if that. They're short. They're like 22.
This episode with information.
Oh, it's so good though, and it's delivered well, so it's not overwhelming.
Right, exactly. And Ted Danson he's basically an angel, but he's the architect of this neighborhood. Everybody who dies and goes to the good place gets to live in a neighborhood with, I think it's 323 other people who perfectly fit in that neighborhood.
Exactly, and it's like
everyone's soulmate is there.
Mm-hmm. It's all custom for them. It's unique, and it's like a little niche of the good place.
A lot of frozen yogurt.
Tons. Who fucking likes frozen yogurt, man? I don't.
That's strange. If I died and went to the good place, I would want some ice cream shops. I would frozen yogurt bullshit.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat.
It's got a weird texture. Not on it.
I'm not into it. It's like when Ron says, skim milk, just impersonating. It's just water acting like
Water
it's milk.
acting like it's milk, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how frozen yogurt is to me.
And yeah, so this is Michael's first project. This is his first neighborhood he got to build. So he's got a lot at stake here. His boss finally let him build a community on his own. So he's really excited that everything is kind of fitting perfectly where it should be and everything's going right. And then we meet Chidi. Chidi Abegonia.
Abegonia,
yeah. And he is a professor of ethics and morality. And he learns a big secret about Eleanor right away.
Yeah, man, she is a bad person.
She's an Arizona trash bag.
Yeah, she does not
belong in the good place.
No, she's not a good person, and she was apparently mixed up.
Yes, there's another Eleanor Shellstrop who was this very altruistic woman. She did a lot of charity, and she was a lawyer that got death row inmates exonerated. Did a lot of really good stuff in her life.
She's genuinely like a super easygoing, nice person, and Eleanor is
our Eleanor can't even think of one kind of good thing she's done in her life. She was the best salesperson selling fake pills to old people, lying to old people to sell them fake pills. She was the best at that.
She was the best.
That's her good thing.
She was so good at it, and she took a ton of pride in that. So yeah, I love the fact that they're apparently soulmates.
Yep. We also meet some other people on this journey through the first episode. We meet her neighbors, Tahani Al-Jamil and John Yu. Tahani is like this holier-than-thou. I guess she's kind of a philanthropist. She comes from a family of money, of wealth, and she loves like throwing extravagant events, and she kind of like gives all these backhanded compliments to Eleanor, which are just fantastic every time. She's tall and beautiful, and Eleanor's like, I mean, Kristen Bell's a beautiful woman, don't get me wrong, but she's more normal looking, and Tahani is more model looking.
Exactly. She's always done up kind of this, and proper.
Right. She's very prim and proper. It sets up kind of this antagonistic relationship between Eleanor and Tahani because Eleanor thinks she's kind of full of shit, or full of shirt, I should say.
Yeah.
And
love they can't cuss
like
on this.
She thinks Tahani is basically putting on a front to act better than she actually is, and Eleanor doesn't like that.
No.
She gets a bad vibe from her. She just doesn't want to she doesn't want to be friends with her, and Eleanor treats Tahani badly because she just doesn't like her personality, basically, and she's jealous of her.
Which is this character to a T. She's just a turd.
She's a hater.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it, man. Like, you notice it perfectly when this really nice dude asks her if she has time to talk about the environment, and she goes, "Do you have a second to eat my farts?" And then throws a cup on the ground. It was just like, oh my god, she's
You're so horny
terrible.
for the environment, you pick it up.
Yeah, she's so terrible. So terrible.
She is every bit the Arizona trash bag she presents herself as.
Yep.
And Zhan Yu is a Buddhist monk who has taken a vow of silence and brought that into the afterlife with him.
He's weird, man. I don't know how I feel about him. Dude.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's weird. And then we meet Janet, who is my favorite character.
Dude, same here, man. She immediately, I was just like, I like her. I like her a lot.
She is the Siri of the good place, basically. They can summon her at will, and she has every bit of information that has ever existed and can create things out of thin air and basically just do whatever you want. She's a personal assistant for every person in the community.
Yeah, and I don't know who the actress is that plays her.
I don't know
Another
her name either.
unknown. Yeah, I will definitely do so. But she's really good, man. She plays this well. She has that like emotionless kind of distant gaze.
She has to be deadpan and still somehow funny at the same time.
She does a good job. Bravo to her.
Yeah. She's really great. And hold on, I'm looking this up.
Gots to.
Kristen Bell, Ted Danson, Darcy Carden. Shout out Darcy Carden, listener of the show.
Yeah.
Patron.
Yeah, love her. You're great.
Thank you for giving us your money, Darcy.
You're a good place money.
Yeah. So basically, Eleanor learns that she was switched. She doesn't belong there. And she decides to enlist Chidi's help, since he is a professor of moral philosophy and ethics, to basically turn her into a good person, to help her become a good person and belong there.
Yep.
Because there's no way she can go to the bad place now that she's seen what's going on in the good place.
Yeah, she needs to blend, and Chidi is apparently the guy to help her do that.
Yeah, well, at least she thinks so.
At least she thinks so.
I don't know if he can pull it off.
I would say I think so as well, just kind of based on their interactions through this first episode so far. He seems like a really I don't know, man. The angle
he seems
of
like
him
he's gonna
being
try.
Exactly, like he's wants
to try.
to help her,
but at the same time, he doesn't know if he should, because he has this conundrum in his head of what's the ethically right thing to do. Does he tell Michael that she doesn't belong there? Does he help her become a better person? Because that's a good thing. Anything you can do to help someone is good. But also, if she doesn't belong, he doesn't want to lie to Michael. So he's got this conundrum in his head. He's in paradise. He gets a stomachache, obviously. We mentioned the no swearing. It's
that.
Funny, but I feel like it's gonna wear real thin real quick. They say fork instead of the F word. They say shirt, ashhole.
Bullshirt. Yeah,
Bullshirt,
bench.
yeah.
I love that. The ashhole. I think anyone else who, and I think it's only been Kristen Bell's character so far that's said
Usually.
it. Yeah, I think Chidi might have said it.
Chidi might have tried. Yeah.
I don't recall off the top of my head, but I do know that she delivers those pretty well. But the fact she keeps stopping to be like, what? It keeps
she
coming out as
herself, I didn't say the wrong thing.
It comes out as bullshit.
I wonder how hard that is for Kristen Bell, because your mind would say, what the fuck is going on? But as an actress, she has to say, what the fork is going on? I wonder how many takes they have to, and I'm sure early on it was worse, and now in seasons 3 and 4, it's probably a lot easier for her as an actress to figure it out. And she probably does it in her real life sometimes, I bet.
Oh, definitely. She does it around her kids. What the fork is this?
But I wonder how hard it was to train herself to do that, early on in this show.
She seemed, I don't know. She comes across as
all
very
the mistakes, though.
Exactly. She comes across as, but I kind of look at it as more of Michael Schur. I think Michael Schur definitely is involved in the casting process of all his shows. And I was watching outtakes for Parks and Rec the other day, and it was a 14-minute video, and you think over 7 seasons they would have more than that.
I think I saw that video. I didn't watch it, but I saw it recommended on YouTube.
Exactly, and it was a hilarious video, but all those people were pretty much perfectly cast. I don't think anyone else could have played them better. And
Mark Brandanowitz kind of sucked, but
I like Mark, dude. I thought he was kind of funny.
He was fine.
He wasn't.
He didn't.
Part of the
I don't
gang.
think he fit with everyone well enough.
He wasn't part of the gang.
I think the dude that played him played it right. It just was that character didn't fit with them. But
it definitely that way.
Ben and Chris fit much better.
Yeah, they fit perfectly. Adam Scott, amazing.
Yeah, we love Adam Scott here.
We do. He's freaking hilarious. He's forking hilarious. So yeah, I think he did that same thing with her, and she just fits that.
She nails it
perfectly. Yeah. Just perfectly.
And everybody, the guy who plays Chidi is great. Jamila Jamil is great as Tahani. Jean Yu doesn't get to say much, so we haven't seen a lot from him yet. And as we already talked about, Darcy Carden as Janet is awesome.
So yeah,
good job casting.
The whole cast and what is it? Ted Danson? Ted Danson?
Yeah,
Danson?
I don't think I mentioned
He's fantastic as Michael. So it's they nailed it on all fronts, which is 3/4 of the show. You add a little good writing in there, and boom, they can make it.
Yep. And then so the episode ends. Tahani throws this big welcome party for everyone at her house, and Eleanor gets really drunk, says a bunch of stuff she shouldn't, and by morning the whole colony is collapsing within itself.
Yeah, dude,
all these subconscious thoughts, not even subconscious thoughts, all these things that Eleanor thought or did the day before are basically manifesting and attacking the community to destroy it.
Oh yeah,
There's
dude.
giant giraffes because she called Tahani a giraffe. She ate a bunch of shrimp, so there's giant shrimp rolling around. Everybody's wearing maize and blue weird suits because she went to Michigan, or like her boyfriend went to Michigan. Somebody went to Michigan, and she's wearing a Michigan t-shirt, but she's the only one that's not wearing it. So Chidi figures out that she's the problem. And now Michael has to scurry to figure out why the colony is collapsing.
Yeah, it's an odd scene. I really did not expect that when they kind of opened up with it, but when you see like giant ladybugs and fireworks and terrible pop music, and it's just like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, they got Ariana Grande playing because
Yeah.
she thought Chidi's last name was Ariana Grande.
He's like, I hate her.
Can't figure it out.
Yeah. So I mean, it's that kind of. I was sitting there watching it. I'm like, oh, she's fucked. They're gonna figure that out pretty quick.
Well, yeah. So I guess those are the looming questions for the series of does she get found out? If she's found out, what happens? Do we ever get to see the bad place? Because obviously she belongs there. Or can Michael keep everything straight now that it's collapsing? Can he keep everything straight, rebuild what's necessary? Will it help him if he finds out to figure out how to fix it? What goes on in Michael's head if he finds out, or if he doesn't, how does he fix the community? Obviously,
it got me hooked. I will be watching the rest of it. That's for damn sure.
And I look forward to seeing if she can learn to be good, and how her journey to goodness can affect all of these other really good altruistic people. That, does she have any backslides? Does she do shitty things to these good people, and that makes them better or makes her better? Like that's the interesting play on this is while her journey to being good, how does that affect actual good people?
I'm very curious about that. And you mentioned the bad place. I want to see it so bad. I want to see her.
We got a brief audio of it.
Yeah, it sounded terrible. It sounded fucking
Janet can't show us, but she can let us know. She can let us hear what's happening right now.
I suggest you go look at that clip up on YouTube. It's haunting.
Absolutely haunting. And then, but yeah, I'm in. Like you said. Anything Michael Schur is behind, I'm there, and I want to see what happens to these people. And there's like 12, 13 episodes a season, so it's really easy to digest. 25-minute episodes. They're all on Netflix all through season 3. Season 4 starts September 26th, as I'm looking at the IMDb page. So if you haven't watched it, watch it now. If you like The Office, if you like Parks and Rec, start watching it. It's great, and it's going to be great. Catch up before season 4.
I definitely agree. It's that natural replacement that kind of fits that hole, and it will be something you binge like crazy.
Yeah, you won't be able to put it down.
And it's easy to binge. I mean, ultimately it'll be 4 seasons of 21 to 25-minute episodes, 12 to 13 episodes a season. That's cakewalk in the world of saturated TV these days.
Yeah, I'm trying to do The Wire right now, and it's the same length of everything, but they're hour-long episodes instead of half-hour, and it's like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
When do I have time to watch 60 hours of TV?
Exactly.
But this is like 20 hours. Boom, done.
Exactly. Well, and at the same time, it's something that you can have in the background as well once you kind of, go through it the first time.
I don't know. If you've gotten all the way through it and you're watching it again, it's great background. But it's one of these shows that's peppered with a lot of stuff in the background, a lot of call forwards, callbacks. It's got a little bit of Arrested Development in it, a little bit of The Office, a little bit of Parks and Rec. Very well thought out from beginning to end.
Yeah, most definitely. You nailed that to a T.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a patron. Patreon. You know what you are. And thanks for stopping by.
The Bible says, man